What's going on, guys? Wolf here. Welcome to the TCL Season 2, the semifinal match versus Renny of the Six Island Magikarps. Now we have been prepping for a little while, so the team builder will go into more in-depth what we planned on bringing today. So as always, check that out. But the team itself has more or less stayed the same. The only thing he switched out was the he did bring Manphy, did bring Poliwrath, which Mega Venusaur is good against both. He did still bring the Metagross. He doesn't have a lot of psychic coverage, so if we can take that Metagross out and take that Mega Aerodactyl out, Mega Venusaur is going to pretty much wall the rest of this team. So we definitely want to keep him alive, but aside from Mega Aerodactyl, he doesn't have a Defogger, so our plan for setting rocks with Rhyperior is still good. We should be able to set up on just about anything, and not a lot of things really want to take a hit. Alternatively, I could go into Infernape, try and get an early start on something, but I'd rather do Mamoswine if that's the case, simply because Mamoswine can actually hit something really hard like Cofagrigus or Mega Aerodactyl. So the plan is still the same, I think, of going into Mamoswine. Then when we have to switch, we'll switch into Rhyperior to tank a physical hit and then set up rocks then. So I think we have a pretty good matchup here. Latias isn't going to do a whole lot, just basically dropping Dracos here and there. I think Raikou's probably either going to be Specs or Assault Vest. He was Assault Vest last time. Definitely going to be watching out for our Sphere, but we have already taken that into account. Poliwrath is probably a bulky Rest Talk set. Manphy's, seeing that he bred two water types, Manphy is almost definitely going to be either a Calm Mind Hydration set with Rain Dance, or it's going to be a Tail Glow 3 attack set. So I'm pretty well off against either one of those, although I kind of expect the Calm Mind set because it does better against Mega Venusaur. Cofagrigus I'm not too worried about. Infernape can actually handle Cofagrigus pretty well. So let's get this started, I guess. We'll start with a Mamoswine lead, and we'll see where we go from there. And right off the bat, we run into Metagross. Now he might not know that we're Scarfed, so this might be a good opportunity for him to try and fire off like a Meteor Mash or something like that. But I am going to start right off with an Earthquake, assuming it is a bulky variant, which it probably is an Assault Vest variant of some type. It could potentially live the Earthquake, but I'm betting not. So he knows I can outspeed here. Being a max of 284, he might not want to stay in, so we might be better off firing a knockoff, but the only thing that switches into this is Mega Aerodactyl, and Mega Aerodactyl is not switching into a Mamoswine, like, ever. So I think Earthquake is safe in this specific scenario. So we'll fire off an Earthquake and see what happens. Yep, so he gets a Poliwrath. We do see it's a bulky variant for sure, with leftovers. So from here, we feel pretty confident in just going straight into Venusaur. But I could go into Tornadus as well. Being a water fighting type, I could try and scare it out with a Hurricane or something like that. So let's go into Tornadus here. I basically want to maneuver into a spot where Mega Aerodactyl or Metagross is basically coming in. Poliwrath, I doubt it's something crazy like a Belly Drum set, being as bulky as it is. It's probably a max HP, max defense. So I'm expecting a Scald here. Yep, so he gets a Scald, no burn, good. So a burn would have been very unfortunate there because we are physical. So from here, I think it's pretty easy to set off a knockoff here. Knocking off the leftovers on this thing would be great. It might be trying to set up with something like bulk up or something like that, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to U-turn into Mega Venusaur after I get this knockoff off. I just want to have Tornadus soak a couple hits while I get a free knockoff, and then I'll switch into something that can actually deal with Poliwrath a little bit better. Now he might be expecting something crazy here. I did switch into Tornadus to bluff the actual flying move because it is a fighting type. So he has to be expecting a flying move, so I almost wonder if he's going into Mega Aerodactyl here, which would be great. He could go into Raikou as well, in which case I can go into Mega Venusaur from there. So I'm pretty comfortable with luring in either one of those. He could bring in Metagross again, but I find that doubtful because Tornadus has access to Knockoff and Dark Pulse. So the more likely switch is probably going to be either to stay in and see what I do, or switch into Mega Aerodactyl or Raikou. Out of those two, I would think Raikou would be the better option, but there is merit in expecting a knockoff. I would think he's more expecting a flying move, though. I'm a little nervous. Semifinal matches are kind of make me a little more nervous. So he did switch into Mega Aerodactyl as we thought. From here, he does outspeed, so we're going to go straight into Rhyperior. Going as planned so far. He'll probably be setting up Stealth Rocks here, but I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be setting up my own rocks here. More importantly, if he goes after an attacking move, or even something like Hone Claws, I'm going to be able to actually take anything that this thing can do to me. Earthquake, Stone Edge, whatever, it doesn't matter. The only thing it doesn't take very well is an Aqua Tail, and even then it doesn't actually kill me. So, yep. So we take that Stone Edge, that crit, for 22%. Not touching us at all. From here, Stone Edge actually would kill, but I want to go for rocks first. Simply because I have the opportunity to, I guess. There is merit in going Ice Punch, but I'm expecting him to switch into something like Manphy or Poliwrath here, so I'm going to go to rocks, predicting the switch. If he actually stays in and Aqua Tails me, then he's definitely a pro player here, but max HP and max defense actually will live in Aqua Tail at this range, even at 84%, so not too worried about that. So he does switch into Poliwrath, we get a free rocks off. From here we can go into Tornadus again and soak the Scald, but I actually like going into Venusaur this time. Although going into Tornadus would be nice. I think I'm going to go back into Tornadus. So he gets the Circle Throw off. Go into Scarf and Fernape. From here we're going to... we don't actually bluff anything by going for a U-turn here. So we get some free chip damage on it. It just lets him know that I'm fast. It doesn't actually let him know that I'm Scarf. So there is merit in U-turning here. I think that's what I'll do. Just to gain switch momentum, because I don't know if he's going to want to switch out or not. This Poliwrath seems like a problem, just because a lot of my threats aren't really doing anything to it, but Mega Venusaur actually just tears a hole in it, as does Latias for that matter. Draco Meteor probably does an extreme amount of damage to it. So we're going to U-turn. We're going to go back into Tornadus. If he wants to Circle Throw again, then Regenerator just plain heals us up. Do get the burn. A little unfortunate. But that's not a big deal. From here, we're going to go for a Toxic, expecting the Mega Aerodactyl to come in again. He might go for Circle Throw or Scald again. That's fine. So we'll get Toxic off on Raikou. From here, we can go into Venusaur. Actually, yeah. Well, 375 speed, we can actually U-turn into Mega Venusaur. So there's merit to that to prevent the double switch. He'll U-turn. Verifies that he's not Choice Scarfed. Reflect. Interesting. This will give us a free Mega Evolution. Now, there is a huge amount of merit in switching to Metagross here. There's also merit in switching to Mega Aerodactyl. I kind of want to go into Rhyperior here, or even Latias. I kind of want to double into Latias. Simply because he's going to switch here, either through Volt Switch or something else. If he Volt Switches, there's a lot of merit in going Rhyperior here. It is very tempting for him to want to set up both screens, though. So, it's hard to say. I didn't expect to see a Screens Raikou. So this is definitely going to be Reflect Light Screen, Volt Switch, and then probably a fourth move. I'm betting Aerosphere. I would bank money on it. So, probably a more bulky variant. I'm not too worried about the screens. They do make it really hard for me to get KOs on relevant threats. But I have to make sure that he doesn't switch into Manphy while screens are up. If he sets up while screens are up on Manphy, I'm gonna have a very bad time, basically. So, expecting the second screen with light screen, I would probably bank on jumping to Rhyperior here, but seeing as I have a free chance to Giga Drain, I'm going to do that first. I'm not going to Sludge Bomb expecting the Metagross to come in, so I don't want to reveal Hidden Power Ice just yet. Yep, so there's the Metagross switch. I'm actually fine with this just because I can switch to Latias here. He's probably not going to Pursuit. I could also go Rhyperior, but I don't want to lose Rhyperior this early. Going into Tornadus would also be relatively okay. Problem is Meteor Mash actually does roughly 50 to 60%, so I would have to immediately U-turn out. So I guess Tornadus is fine to soak a hit. Yeah, so he power up punches here. I'm still fine with this because I'm going to knock off here. I'm actually not worried about him powering up right here. He has to be scared out by the fact that I have a potential Dark Pulse here. And he doesn't want to take a knockoff, even with Reflect up. So, this is a good point to do a knockoff. Metagross could kill me after burn with a Meteor Mash here. So he takes off the Assault Vest. Yep, so Meteor Mash will kill. He does get the attack boost on Meteor Mash, which is unfortunate. From here, I think we actually have to go Latias and Thunder Wave here. It's unfortunate, but actually, no, we don't. We can go Infernape and just flat out Overheat here. Simply because Overheat will kill it after the Assault Vest is gone. So, I'm actually fine with an Overheat. He might actually think I'm physical and stay in and try and hit it with something like Earthquake. So this might catch him off guard to get that Metagross out early. Losing Tornadus is unfortunate, but we still do have support with Latias. And we have our main defensive walls intact in Mega Venusaur and Rhyperior, so we're still in good shape even though we lost Tornadus. Tornadus is basically just our main switch to get a switch initiative. So we're going to have to rely a lot more on Infernape, but that's okay. Our boy Infernape does a lot of work. If anybody remembers the Pablo match where he went like 50 some odd turns. Guess Pablo didn't click dock. That still makes me laugh thinking about that. So he goes Poliwrath. We get a free overheat off. It does 23%. Not a huge deal. Screens go down. So Mega Venusaur is now our switch in to Poliwrath. He might choose to Circle Throw again, but until he gets rid of rocks, the switch game is always going to be in my favor, regardless of... I mean, let's think about this. We have to switch, but there is merit in going to Latias. Simply because it resists Scald, doesn't care about Circle Throw, and it does better if he switches out into Mega Aerodactyl, predicting the Venusaur switch. So we have to look ahead to that, because if we make the obvious switch into Venusaur and he goes Mega Aerodactyl, then we're actually in a tight spot. So I think Latias is actually a better switch here. So we're going to go Latias. Yep, so he gets rest. That's fine. We're going to drop a Draco here. I think that's pretty safe. Fall else fails, drop a Draco. It works for Pokegame. It's got to work here. It's not going to kill him. It's probably going to do 60 to 70%. I don't remember the calc on this, but I would estimate about 2/3 of his health gone. We don't have a lot of special attack investment. Actually, I don't think we have any special attack investment. But him being physically defensive is going to be in our favor to do quite a bit with Draco Meteor, especially since we're a Life Orb. And it also forces him to have to switch into Metagross here. But the screens earlier lasting longer proves that Raikou is like clay, so we don't have to worry about Assault Vest or Scarf on that. We did scout the Scarf, of course, with Tornadus Therian, so we know Raikou's item isn't really that relevant. If we can take out Raikou and prevent further screen support, we might do okay. We don't want Metagross to try and set up again on us and get that power-up punch going, because that would be a huge problem. We don't have a huge amount of kills. I mean, Infernape will always be a hard counter to it, simply because we can switch into anything barring Earthquake and then overheat it to kill it. But so goes to Cofagrigus, we drop a Draco, goes to 25%. We can actually drop another Draco to kill it. So I think that's what we're going to do here. And if we can take out Cofagrigus, that makes spamming close combat on Infernape a lot easier. Well, hold up. Draco did 63%. Half will be 31%. 31.5%. So yeah, Draco's still within range. So we're still good with that. The most likely free switch coming in would be Metagross to try and Pursuit Trap it, but that gives us an opportunity to Thunder Wave. That's what we did Thunder Wave for. Or the reason why we brought it anyways. So he's probably wondering if he wants to sack off a Cofagrigus at the 1% health. Shadow Ball will... So he's got Cofagrigus. We're going to have to Draco here and hope we hit. The live at 1% was brutal. That was the one thing I was worried about with wanting to switch, was that it might actually not kill. So Mega Venusaur was a potential switch in to tank the Shadow Ball. But and we miss the Draco. And he gets Destiny Bond. Alright, so now we are going to switch into Mega Venusaur. Oh man. That is just brutal. That was an interesting set of turns there. Very unfortunate for us that Draco we really wanted that Draco to kill. Now at 21%, Latias doesn't do a whole lot. Trick Room's fine. I almost wonder if he'll Destiny Bond it. I'm not sure. That would be... I think Synthesis is fine here. And we can just stall out Trick Room. Yeah. We don't want to get punked by that Destiny Bond there. We're going to Sludge Bomb here. Specifically because Sludge Bomb is not going to kill. Barring a crit. But more importantly, we get to fish for a poison. So... well, I think Synthesis is still safer. I have a feeling we're not going to need both of our Synthesis. Alright, so he's got 2x special attacks. Now we're going to Giga Drain. Shadow Ball isn't going to do a ton to us. He's really going to want to Destiny Bond next turn with 1 turn remaining, because that gives him a free chance to set up another Trick Room, because I'm not going to want to attack into the Destiny Bond. So he really doesn't want to Destiny Bond this turn. He wants a Destiny Bond next turn, which is why I'm more comfortable Giga Draining here than I am spamming Synthesis. Okay, so he did Destiny Bond. So he got us on that one. We probably should have thought that through a little bit better, because now we have no answer to Manphy at all, which is very unfortunate, and it's probably going to be the reason why we lose the game here. All of our fast threats, and he has 1 turn left of Trick Room. Man, that really sucks. Really sucks. I should have potentially switched. So he's gonna have a Meteor Mash here. We're gonna have to go Infernape. We don't have a choice. He might try and Power Up Punch or something, in which case we'll outspeed on the next turn. We absolutely have to find a way to whittle down the Manphy. We can whittle it down with a Draco on a free switch. Okay, missed Meteor Mash is a little bit of good luck for us. From here, he knows he has to go to Poliwrath, so I'm actually going to go Thunder Punch here, predicting the Poliwrath switch. Simply because he already knows about Overheat. Okay, so we get the Thunder Punch off. We better plan this out a little bit. I have to scroll up and see if he had any free turns, because I don't remember if he had any turns of sleep. Let's see, so Raikou used Reflect. Let's see, Poliwrath took the Overheat, used Rest, and then immediately switched out, so we are guaranteed 2 turns of sleep. So here's Raikou. We got Thunder Punch here. Toxic damage. He'll probably set up a Reflect here. I'm actually still fine with a Thunder Punch. But I like going into Mamoswine too. I also kind of like Rhyperior, to be honest. The objective for him right now is to set up Reflect on my physical attackers so he can get either Manphy or Metagross in to set up for a sweep. I'm actually fine with him setting up Reflect, but he absolutely cannot set up Light Screen as well. So I have to switch into Mamoswine here. Well, no, I don't really. Infernape can take any one hit. Thunder Punch did 18%. No, I will have to switch because Reflect will reduce it down to where it's not a 3-hit kill. Um, I think I still like Rhyperior here more. Yep. So, Earthquake is good here. Because Mega Aerodactyl, I don't care if it comes in. So we can pretty much spam an Earthquake on something to do a ton of damage. I really would like that Manphy to come in so I can start beating down that Manphy. We can live a Scald. We can't live a Tail Glow Scald, but we can live a regular Scald. If he Tail Glows up on the Earthquake, we're going to have to sack Latios. Like, we don't have a choice. We have to find a way to stall out this Reflect turn. Or until this Reflect goes down. He can't go into Metagross here. Manphy has to be the switch because Metagross will get obliterated by Earthquake. It's a pretty easy Earthquake here. I'm not too worried about, like I said, Mega Aerodactyl because Stone Edge does 110 to 135 without Reflect, so with Reflect it'll do 55 to 70, and after he takes rock damage he's going to be within Stone Edge range. So he's probably thinking of what exactly he can afford to sack. He might have to sack Poliwrath. Poliwrath would be an interesting sack here, but it would waste Reflect turns. So he has to think of whether or not he wants to go regressive and go all in. And I think he has to if he wants to win. If he doesn't, it puts us in a position where we can stall out the Reflect and kill the Raikou and lock into something. If we can kill Metagross and Poliwrath, okay, so Mega Aerodactyl comes in. He's probably going to try to Roost here. But I still like Ice Punching. Because Ice Punch will still be super effective after the Roost. Yep, so we'll go on the Poliwrath. That's fine, expecting the double. We still have one free full turn of Sleep. So we can just hit Earthquake again. All he's doing right now, okay, so he's got Circle Throw. From here we can drop a Draco. Yep, there's the Metagross to soak the Draco. Was resisted. From here we're going to sack Latias, but we are going to Thunder Wave first to paralyze the Metagross. There's no point in healing Wish first, simply because everything's already at full. So we get the ability to Revenge Kill with Infernape. So at this point, we can probably go Mamoswine. But I kind of like Rhyperior too, because he still doesn't have an effective answer to Rhyperior. And then we're back to where we started with hitting an Earthquake. So he has to sack Metagross off here. If I can get Metagross down, yep. This makes it so we can definitely always lock into... Well, with Manphy alive, we can't lock into much of anything. We know Raikou's not much of a threat, so he's running out of options. He's really trying to save that Manphy, which means that Manphy's probably a Calm Mind variant. Otherwise, if it was a Tail Glow variant, it would have came in a lot earlier. So, still has the free terms of Sleep. He gets the Scald. He gets the Burn, too. You gotta be kidding me. This Hax is obliterating us. This is freaking dumb. Because he could add anything there. He could have had Sleep Talk on Rest. He could have had Sleep Talk on Circle Throw and it would have been fine. But it had to have Scald and it had to Burn. So we lost the 1 in 3 and the 3 out of 10. It's like probably like a 40% chance. Or not even that. It was like a, I don't know, like a 15 to 20% chance that both of those would have actually happened. That's so dumb. So Rhyperior is useless for us now, except as a free switch. but we still have to sack him. Yep, so he's gonna rest here. That's really unfortunate for us. Like, really unfortunate. Infernape can still kill with a Thunder Punch. We can also spam close combat, but if we do and he hits Scald, we lose. I don't think we have a choice though. I think we have to spam close combat and just hope that his Sleep Talk doesn't hit. If his Sleep Talk hits, then we just lose. But I think that's our best option. Close combat's going to do a solid 50%. So there's the Raikou. He'll sack. It's probably an opportunity for Manphy to come in. Nope, Mega Aerodactyl. So at 438, he doesn't realize that we're scarfed. So we actually kill here. I don't know if he knows this. Him immediately switching in Mega Aerodactyl here makes me think he did not realize that we're scarfed. So he probably didn't figure it out throughout the match, which is good for us. So we're going to get a free kill on this Mega Aerodactyl. And that leaves 2 water types left, which is perfect for Mamoswine. Or perfect even to really just switch into Mamoswine on the Poliwrath. And just spam Earthquake. So we actually still have an avenue to win, depending on who he switches into after this. We really need him to switch into Poliwrath here. Okay, yep, so he gets Poliwrath. We have to be able to outspeed and kill. So we really need him, again, to miss on this Sleep Talk. Nope, he gets the Scald. So at this point, we have to Earthquake and spam Earthquake like crazy and hope that we get a crit on something like Manphy. Get the crit. Fails on the Sleep Talk, finally. So we can get the kill on Poliwrath, and it becomes a 1-in-1 match on whether or not we get the crit on Manphy or Manphy kills us. Now Manphy Scald should kill here, so it really becomes a matter of if we get the crit here, and we don't. So, very close game. We're about 1 turn away. If that Sleep Talk would not have hit Scald on Rhyperior or Infernape, we would have won. So we lost to pretty unfortunate hacks. It was basically a 1 out of, like, if either of those 1 out of 3s wouldn't have hit, we would have won. So the fact that he hit all of those Sleep Talks, he hit, I think, 3 out of 4 for Scalds. Scald or Circle Throw. It really hurt us and it knocked us out. But otherwise, I think we played extremely well. There wasn't a lot of plays. I don't think that there were definitely not any plays that were grossly wrong. There might have been a couple switches that I might have been able to make differently. A couple doubles I might not have been able to do the same. But overall, I really loved our chances here. I think we prepped very well, and I think the match went about as well, or about how I expected it to. It was really just a matter of that Poliwrath. Just so much good luck on Renny's side for that, and that's Pokemon. It is what it is. I certainly can't complain about that, but that was our avenue to win. I mean, that's really the biggest factor of this match, was that put Renny in position to win and us not to win. Otherwise, we would have been able to deal with this Manphy a lot easier having Infernape up, because we would have been able to hit it with the close combat, weaken it, and then Mamoswine would have came in and revenge killed with Earthquake for the win. So, unfortunate again, but switching into Mamoswine at the end there If he had Sleep Talk on that Scald, instead of killing Infernape, it would have killed Mamoswine, because Mamoswine is a lot more frail. It has more health, but it wouldn't have lived that Scald either way, so it is what it is. That's Pokemon for you. Congrats to my opponent. I hope he does really well in the finals, and I hope he wins the finals, obviously, so we can be third place. But props to my opponent. Excellent match. We expected this to pretty much come down to the wire, and it is what it is. It only took a few minor advantages to go one way or another to determine the match, and it just wasn't me this time. So, again, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you guys following the Greninjas throughout the season. We will be coming back for season 3, at least as far as I know. So make sure to keep tuned, or keep in tune. Make sure to check my Twitter as well as the YouTube page. I will be providing updates as we get closer to the next season. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to support my opponent going to the finals. I'll see you guys next time.